If you've ever called Social Security to verify your identity or update your direct deposit over the phone, that option is gone. SSA quietly tightened these rules, and if you don't know what replaced it, you could end up with a frozen payment at the worst possible time. In the next 20 minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what changed, why it happened, and the exact steps to make sure your check never gets held up. Here's the roadmap. First, what actually changed and why SSA did this. Second, the real consequence if you ignore it, including what happens to your payment. Third, your three options going forward, step by step. And right near the end, I'm going to cover a scam that's popped up specifically because of this change. Scammers are using this exact policy as bait to steal information from seniors. So even if you think you're already SE'd up fine, stick around for that part because it could save you from losing money to someone pretending to be SSA. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor or an SSA representative. This is general information. For your specific account, always confirm directly with SSA or at ssa.gov. If you've ever called Social Security to verify your identity or update your direct deposit over the phone, that option is gone. SSA quietly tightened these rules, and if you don't know what replaced it, you could end up with a frozen payment at the worst possible time. In the next 20 minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what changed, why it happened, and the exact steps to make sure your check never gets held up. What actually changed? Let's start with the facts. Back in 2025, a federal executive order mandated that nearly all federal payments, tax refunds, vendor payments, and Social Security benefits move away from paper checks and into electronic payments. Social Security has been working toward fully completing that transition by the end of 2026. But the part that actually affects how you interact with SSA is bigger than just checks versus direct deposit. SSA also tightened identity verification. Previously, if you needed to verify your identity, say to file a new claim or change your direct deposit information, you could often do that over the phone with an SSA representative. That's no longer the case for most people. Now, if you can't verify your identity through your online My Social Security account, you have to go in person to a local SSA field office to complete that verification. Phone verification for these specific actions has been removed from the table. Why SSA made this change? You might be asking, why would they make this harder? Two reasons, and both are documented by SSA itself. First, cost. Printing and mailing a single paper check now costs SSA over $3. Electronic payments cost a small fraction of that. Multiply that across tens of millions of beneficiaries every single month, and you're talking about real money. Money SSA says it can redirect rather than spend on postage and printing. Second, and this is the bigger one, fraud. SSA has reported that scammers were specifically targeting unverified online accounts, getting in and redirecting people's direct deposit information to accounts the scammers control. Once that happens, your benefit payment goes straight to a criminal instead of to you, and most people don't find out until the money's already gone. So tightening verification, even though it adds an extra step for honest people, is SSA's way of closing that door. The trade-off is real. More security, but also more friction if you're not prepared for it. The part that affects you directly. Here's exactly what this means in practice. If you're a new applicant filing for benefits or an existing beneficiary who wants to change your direct deposit bank information, SSA now requires identity verification either through your verified online account using identity proofing services like Login.gov or ID.me or in person at a field office. Calling in and verifying over the phone is no longer the path for these actions. There is a piece of good news buried in here. Once you are verified, direct deposit changes that used to take up to 30 days to process now happen in as little as one business day. So the system got faster for people who are set up correctly. It just got stricter about how you prove who you are in the first place. The catch is obvious. If you've never set up your online account or you're not comfortable navigating Login.gov or ID.me, you may not realize you're not verified until you actually try to do something that needs it, and that's exactly when you don't want to discover a roadblock. So what actually happens if you don't get ahead of this? Let's talk about the real-world consequence because this is the part most coverage glosses over. What happens if you ignore this? If you're still receiving a paper check and you haven't transitioned to direct deposit or the Direct Express debit card by the deadline SSA and Treasury have set, your payment can be held or delayed until you do. This isn't a small administrative inconvenience. For someone relying on that check to pay rent or buy groceries, a delayed payment is a real problem. Same goes if you need to update your banking information and you can't verify online. Without completing that in-person or online identity step, the change simply won't go through, and your payment could keep going to an old or closed account instead of getting fixed. This is exactly the kind of thing that sneaks up on people. You're not thinking about identity verification rules until the 1 month you actually need to change something. And that's the worst time to find out you're not set up. Your 3 options going forward. Okay, here's what you can actually do. You have 3 real paths. Option 1, direct deposit. This is the standard route if you already have a bank or credit union account. You set this up either through your verified My Social Security account online or by giving your bank your Social Security information so they can set it up electronically on their end. Option 2, the Direct Express card. If you don't have a bank account, this is built specifically for that. It's a prepaid debit card. Your benefit gets loaded onto it every month, and you can use it anywhere that accepts a major card network, plus withdraw cash at ATMs. Option 3, a hardship waiver. If you genuinely cannot transition to electronic payments, no internet access, no nearby bank, a real barrier, there is a waiver process through the U.S. Treasury that allows you to keep receiving a paper check. This isn't automatic. You have to request it and explain your situation. I'm not going to read out a phone number here because these support lines do get updated. The reliable way to get the current number is to check directly at Login.gov or ssa.gov, and I'd encourage you to do that rather than rely on a number from a random video, including this one. Step by step, getting verified. If you haven't done this yet, here's the actual process. Go to ssa.gov and create or log into your My Social Security account. If you haven't verified your identity online before, you'll be guided through Login.gov or id.me. This typically involves confirming personal details and sometimes uploading a photo ID or taking a quick selfie verification step on your phone or computer. If that process fails or you're not comfortable doing it online, the fallback is visiting your local Social Security field office in person. Bring a government-issued photo ID. I genuinely recommend calling ahead or checking ssa.gov for your nearest office and current wait times before you go, since in-person demand for this exact reason has increased. Once you're verified, go ahead and set up or confirm your direct deposit information right there in the same account. That part now processes in as little as 1 business day instead of the old 30-day wait. The scam you need to watch for. Now here's the part I promised earlier. Because this verification change is real and it's confusing people, scammers are using it as cover. You may get a call, text, or email claiming to be from SSA, saying your payment is on hold because of this exact identity verification change, and asking you to confirm your Social Security number, bank account, or login credentials to fix it. Real SSA communication will never ask you to provide your full Social Security number or banking details over an unsolicited call, text, or email. If you get a message like this, don't click links, don't give information, and don't call any number provided in that message. Instead, go directly to ssa.gov yourself, or call SSA using the number on an official letter you've previously received or on ssa.gov directly. Never a number someone just sent you. Let's bring it together. SSA has removed phone-based identity verification for new claims and direct deposit changes. If you can't verify online through Login.gov or id.me, you now need to go in person. Ignore this, and a future payment or banking update could get held up. You've got 3 real options: direct deposit, the Direct Express card, or a documented hardship waiver. And the safest first move for almost everyone is simply logging into ssa.gov today and checking whether you're already verified. Comment below and let me know. Were you already aware phone verification was removed, or is this the first you're hearing about it? If this helped you get ahead of something before it became a problem, hit subscribe, because next video I'm covering the new $6,000 senior tax deduction and exactly what it does to your Social Security tax bill. Share this with anyone you know who still calls SSA over the phone for these kinds of changes. This is exactly the video that saves someone a frozen payment. See you in the next one.